Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? Go live, talk about this heavyweight division. Wait for a few of you to pop up in here. Jay Jerk, what's good? Joseph Brown, what it do? CB Sports TV, what's up, man? Talk about this past weekend. Also want to go over some of the news I've seen today on boxing scene concerning the heavyweight division. Let me give a shout out to 78 Sports TV, man. I listened to the interview he did with Deontay Wilder. Always some interesting interviews between those two, man. Wilder had a lot to say, man. He touched on. Advise you guys go check that interview out if you haven't. But Wilder went over a lot of stuff in that interview, man. You know, talking about this whole thing being thrown as far as AJ saying that he's going to feel what do you say, frozen out or something like that. But he's the one that brought that whole thing up, that whole, freezing somebody out. He brought that up in an interview a while ago, man. But Wilder said something to the effect of, you know what I mean? Why would I want to freeze you out when I want to slaughter you? You know what I mean? Chilling words, man. Chilling words. But good interview through and through. Wilder also had said something over the last couple of days where he was saying that he would like, Tyson Fury to take step aside money to let him fight the winner out of Ruiz versus AJ. Now I wanted the Wilder and Fury thing, but I wanted that immediately. You know what I mean? When they had that draw, yes, I've been lobbying for undisputed. That's all, what I want in every weight class. But I thought the Wilder and Fury thing was kind of a unique situation as far as, some fans view him as the lineal champion. He's still undefeated. He didn't, lose anything in the ring. You know what I mean? I wanted them to fight immediately. Like they fought in December. I wanted them to have the rematch like in April. You know what I mean? But since it wasn't immediate, it's like, well, shit, if it's not immediate, then just go along with, the undisputed match. But yeah, I still want undisputed. If Fury were to do that, I'm not sure if he will, but if he were to do it, money talks. But if he were to do it, I would love to see that fight. But Wilder has to get past Luis Ortiz. I'm favoring him in that fight. But man, you got a sneaky, crafty, power punching counter puncher on the table that knows how to hurt you. You knocked him out. You finished Ortiz, but he knows how to hurt you. And they say the last thing go is your power, and he's a very good counter puncher, man. And Wilder, in a lot of his fights, he seems as if he wants to be the counter puncher. So I still think it's an interesting fight, man, between Wilder and Ortiz, the rematch. You know what I mean? So Wilder has to get past Ortiz first. Corey Lee Boxing was good. Retros or Dies 7-9 Boxing was good. M. Reynolds, what it do? Golden Gloves. All right, man. So let me see. Unbiased heavyweight boxing news and rankings. He says Spung Usyk official solid first fight. Guy was 92-7 as a kickboxer. I'm gonna get to that, bro. Mala2243, what's up? All right, so you guys have joined. So let me go ahead and talk about some things. First, I seen this. Tom Schwarz. You know what I mean? Tom Schwarz will be back in action September 28th. He'll be taking on Ilja Medzinkiv. Now that fight, their first fight is on YouTube. They're fighting for one of the regional IBF belts, the IBF International title. The last fighters that fought for that title was Rivas versus Jennings, and then before that it was Jennings versus Dimitrenko, and before that I believe it was Dimitrenko versus Adrian Granat. I know Kirbet Pulev held that title for some years. All right, but anyways, they'll be fighting for that title. He's back in action. I know he left a bad taste in my mouth and a lot of people's mouths from that performance he put against Fury. Even just leading into the fight with this whole, I'm just happy to be here type of attitude. Just being really friendly with Tyson Fury, then all that shit transferred into the ring on fight night. All right. However, though, his fight against Medzinkiv their first fight was pretty entertaining fight where the guy put Schwarz down, I believe, in the first round with a right hand. Now, this dude was switching it up. He was fighting lefty to righty in that fight. I went and watched his fights before that fight and actually did a post fight to that fight. But before that fight, he was fighting that I'll fight lefty, I'll go righty, I'll go lefty, right, like a switch hitter, right? And then I think he's had like 9 or 10 fights since that Schwarz fight they had in 2015, 4 years ago. And now he seems as if his identity is that of an orthodox fighter that wants to throw double and triple jabs and then land the right hand. I went and watched about 2 or 3 of his fights on Boxwelt YouTube channel, BOXWELT. They do a lot of the under the radar heavyweight fights out there in Germany and Poland and all that. But anyways, I went and watched about 3 of his fights that he's had since the Schwarz fight, the first one. And now he seems as if he's gonna, like I said, fighting orthodox, sit down on his double jab, right hand. All right. He was hurting Swatch in their first fight. He was literally throwing the 1-2-3 from the orthodox position and the southpaw. 1-2-3 meaning jab, straight, and then hook to the body with the opposite hand. So if you're orthodox, left jab, straight right hand, left hook to the body. Then he'll switch to southpaw, throw the right jab, straight left hand, right hook to the body. He kept doing that to Swatch, and he was walking right into it, and he landed an overhand right when he was in orthodox on Swatch to put him down. All right, Swatch got up, he knocked him down in the third round. I think he finished him in the seventh. Swatch did, and he got the victory. Swatch was putting up the high guard, walking him down, getting hit in the middle, trying to do the whole I'm going to show you that you're really not hurting me. You know what I mean? And for the most part, he was just more physical than this guy, man. To tell you the truth, he was just more physical. And when he started to let his hands go, is when he started to put the hurting on the dude, and he knocked him out pretty impressively in that seventh round. All right, so just putting it out there, that fight will be happening September 28th. All right. What else did I see in the news? Jarrell Miller, according to Greg Cohen, one of his promoters, said he's trying to make a ring return in October. I still want to see Jarrell Miller versus Dillian White. You know what I mean? Especially, especially right now with everything that's going on and everything that happened with, Jarrell Miller back in, what was that, April or March when they came out, when he popped, whatever. So that's what they're saying. He's going to be back in October, I guess, after September 22nd. According to that article I read on Boxing Scene, they're going to make a push to try to get him some opponents to get him back in the ring. All right. So Jarrell Miller will be returning. I'm gonna get to you guys in the chat in 1 second, man. Just want to get everything off, and then we can go back and forth afterwards. All right. So who would y'all like to see Jarrell Miller fight? I'm still wanting him to fight Dillian White. I've been wanting that fight for about 4 years now, man. So somebody like that, but I think that they'll probably feed him some journeyman level type of guys. Hopefully, man, they just can get him in there, like I said, with a Dillian White or a Carlos Takam or somebody just like that. If he's back from his suspension, although I thought the 6 months was a slap on the wrist. However, if they're still putting him back in the ring to fight, then shit, let's get the ball rolling. Then you dig what I'm saying? I mean, I thought the suspension should have been longer, but they're putting the dude back in the ring, man. So Dillian White would be my choice, but if we can't get Dillian White, AJ Kabayel. I'm gonna get to Kabayel in a second, but somebody like that, man. You know what I mean? Charles Martin, somebody like that. All right. Joyce versus Kabayel. They was supposed to have a purse bid today. I guess Kabayel don't want nothing to do with a purse bid. He's just going to up his EBU title. I tried to go to the EBU website and look at their rankings, but I couldn't pull it up on my phone. But Joyce has came out and voiced his opinion about guys who he would like to fight. Jarrell Miller's one of them. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. Carlos Takam and Povetkin. Povetkin versus Miller wouldn't be that bad either. All right, but I would like those fights. I'm curious what Kabayel has going on, man, because he was holding on to the EBU title, man. For him just to give it up right now, not that it's one of the 4 major titles, but still though. So I wonder if him and his team got something planned for him, maybe to get him against a guy with a bigger name like a Dillian White, or shit, maybe they're trying to get Jarrell Miller. Who really knows? You know what I mean? But I'm curious as what they got planned for AJ Kabayel, man. Now Kabayel, he did dominate Radinko, even knocked him down. I thought he dominated Radinko. I think he dominated Radinko better than Huey Fury, and Povetkin, man. I thought Kabayel was putting on Radinko. All right. But he's beat him. He beat Derek Chisora as well, man. So I'm curious to see what Kabayel team has lined up for him, because if they go against some obscure journeyman, it's going to look like that you're trying to duck a guy like Joyce. You know what I mean? Especially if you have nothing planned, nothing going on. I don't know if they wanted some more money with the I'm not sure. You know what I mean? But I'm curious to see what the next move for Kabayel would be. All right. Let me see. Takam versus Craig Lewis is going down September 14th in New York. Craig Lewis, fighter out of Detroit. I've seen him fight Jermaine Franklin in the amateurs. He actually fought Jermaine Franklin as a pro as well. Fought Junior Fa. And he's the type of dude, man, where, he has some losses, some, majority decisions and split, close type losses. I know he's in a lot of the Deontay Wilder training camps. He's about 6'5". He fights straight up. He wants to land the jab, straight right hand behind it. Fights kind of straight up. Like he'll know when to come in and hold, kind of rough on the inside. He's one of those type of guys, man, where I can see him giving Takam some rounds. You know what I mean? I can see him giving Carlos Takam some rounds, and I'm gonna see what Takam has left, man. Now, physically, when you look at Takam and you watch him train on the internet, he always looks to be in phenomenal shape, man. He's going to be one of them dudes that just always going to look like he's in great shape. But is he in fighting shape? And can he, sustain some of the things that he had going for him early in his career? Can he do it now against the taller, rangier fighters of today? Now, he has beat guys like Tony Thompson and taller guys, but and just where's that punch resistance at? You know what I mean? Because that was a vicious knockout he suffered against Chisora. So he's going to come in good shape, man. But Craig Lewis is going to give him some rounds. Trust me, I'm telling you. He's going to put a jab out there on him. He's going to have some awkward movements. He's quick. He's been getting phenomenal sparring, right? You've been in Deontay Wilder camps, and Wilder's not going to keep bums or keep inviting guys that don't, you know what I mean, give it all they got in training. So he's getting some good sparring. It's going to be tough for Takam. Win, lose, or draw. It's gonna be tough for him. But I expect him to win that fight. Just more experience. But I can see just based on styles, man, Lewis giving him some rounds, some tough rounds. All right. Usyk versus Spong, October 12th. Now, I know Usyk is going to go the WBO route. He's made it clear that he wants the winner out of Ruiz versus AJ. They have him rated number 1. They got Fury number 2 at the WBO, AJ 3, 4, Tyrone Spong. All right. So technically, according to the rankings, Usyk is coming in fighting a top 4 heavyweight according to the WBO rankings. Now we all know that Tyrone Spong is not a top 4 heavyweight. All right. But he is undefeated. He does carry a punch. He does have a high KO percentage. I know he fought in kickboxing, had like 100 fights. He was a world champion and all that. He wants to come forward. He wants to throw that left hook to the body, and he loves throwing overhand rights. All right. The one fight where he didn't get a KO stoppage, I believe he's 14-0 with 13 KOs, I believe. But was against the Yotoli Pereira fight. Pereira was a Ecuadorian heavyweight who was an Olympian in 2012. And he's another one of those guys, man, where he's the type of dude, he's just a tricky guy to fight. Olympian, smaller, but he can slip, roll, come back with 1-2s, knows when to hold. He's just one of those type of guys, man. All right, but he was giving Spong a run for his money, man. I thought he kind of stunned Spong in the first round with a jab, and then Spong, that first round between those two was a pretty interesting round, Pereira versus Spong. Then Spong came with an overhand right that kind of buzzed Pereira as well. But one thing about Spong is what I noticed is he likes to lay on the inside a little bit too much for my liking, and I can see Usyk just peppering him, man, and moving around him, either left or righty. Spong to me has a hard time dealing with punches up the middle. That's what Pereira was able to hurt him with or be effective with his jab, and then punches right down the middle when he was letting combinations go. Sometimes Spong gets into the continuity of, the whole I'm gonna let you get off, then I'm gonna get off. And against Usyk, I can see him doing that, and then Usyk not being there. That's kind of taking the Marek Gassiev approach, and that's what I thought had Gassiev so far behind in that fight with Usyk, man, is he couldn't fight him in rhythms the way like trying to think who kind of fought Usyk in rhythms, like the way what's my man's name? Breedis. Breedis was able to fight him in rhythms where he can catch, slip, roll. He can kind of do what Usyk was doing back to him and putting the pressure on him at times. Whereas Gassiev was trying to put the high guard up, I'm gonna walk you down type thing. And I think Spong may try to do that. Now, I do think Usyk is going to have to respect his power. Definitely going to have to respect this man's power. Spong does have a good overhand right, and he has a nice left hook. You know what I mean? And I think he will come to win. I think he will come with that attitude. He'll be very aggressive, very confident. But how confident will he be after round 4 or 5 if he's just swinging at air and he's getting peppered and he's getting hit with 4 or 5 punches? And on fight night, I'm going to be curious to see who's the bigger guy. Now, I know as far as their physicality, because I know Spong comes in about 230 somewhere in there. And I know my man, I know Usyk said in the interview before I heard him, he say he doesn't want to get over 220. I think he'll come in between like 215, 220, somewhere in there. All right. And he's the taller guy and he has the longer reach by a few inches. So on fight night, he may be looking down at Spong. You know what I mean? Spong may just be the smaller guy. Uh, as far as height and reach, but he will have at least, I'll say have at least about 10 pounds on Usyk, but how will he be able to use it? You know what I mean? If he don't know how to use it, man, I could see Usyk probably out fighting him on the inside as well and just slipping that left hook to the body, or at least catching it and countering off of it. You know what I mean? But Spawn's gonna have to, work behind his jab. Just can't come in plotting with the high guard, man. Going to have to work that jab up and down, try to cut the ring off, try to go to Usyk body and try to blend in, some solid twos and threes as far as three punch combinations, and try to end them with the right hand over the top that way. But trying to just wing and fish for just single shots, yeah, you may land one, but and look, all it takes is one. But I see Usyk evading and getting out of the way of things like that, man, and not getting caught up in that. You know what I mean? I see Usyk winning that fight, man. You know what I mean? I would rather see Spong fight guys like Fa and Jili Zhang and Alexander Teslenko and Ajagba and Arslan Makhmadov and Martin Bakole, guys like that, man. But hey, technically by the WBO, they have him rated number 4. You dig what I'm saying? So, or even a guy like Evgeny Romanov, who's rated number 10. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight somebody like Spong. You know what I mean? But they're gonna throw him in there with Usyk. He has at least a puncher's chance. All right. Now let me get to the. I'm gonna get to you guys in 1 second, man. I appreciate y'all showing up. Let me just talk about what I've seen with Povetkin and Huey Fury. Look, man. Now I got the prediction wrong. I picked Huey Fury. If you guys listen to that video, my last live, you can tell in my voice I wasn't confident with the pick. You know what I mean? But I went with Huey Fury. He lost the fight. All right. I thought he at least won about probably 4 rounds in the fight, if that. I thought it was a lot closer than a lot of people think, based on both guys really wasn't doing much in some of the rounds. But let me just say this, man. Yes, I know Povetkin won a gold medal, and he had a solid. He has a solid resume from the old guard of heavyweights going into this newer era, guys. But look, man. You can't be 24 years old letting a 40-year-old outwork you in boxing. You just can't do it, man. If anything, you have to have a better motor than a 40-year-old. Period. I don't care about the style. I don't care about the reach advantage. You cannot let a 40-year-old outwork you, man. And in this fight, it's just frustrating, man, because like I said, going into the fight, he has all the tools to beat a guy like Povetkin. He has the jab, he has the proper footwork, and he showed that he can hold and tie him up, and he's strong enough to hold and tie him up on the inside. He just didn't do all these things effectively. He did them all in the ring, just to do it effectively, man. Like, he would let his hands go, but he was hitting air, and then I'm talking about Fury, he was swinging at air, and then just will go in and clinch. Fury will land a good overhand right on him, he'll go in and clinch him. He'll land a good shot on Fury, he'll go in and clinch him. No matter what happened, he was always looking for the clinch. Now I think he should have added some clinching into his game plan by not letting Povetkin work on the inside, but he wanted to clinch after everything. Whether it was good, bad, or negative action, he wanted to, and it was just, oh man, you can't do that, man. And then Povetkin was finding spots to just outwork him with a big overhand left, big overhand right. It was kind of an ugly fight, man. But Povetkin did what he had to do. I thought it was Povetkin won, but he was just eking out rounds. It wasn't like he went in there, in my opinion, he didn't go in there and whoop him and destroy. He was just eking out rounds, man. And had it been just a younger, fresher of some of the other heavyweights, I think they just would have outworked Povetkin. He was there to be beat. Now, props to Povetkin. It's not his fault that this young guy went in there and fought like that. You know what I mean? But Fury shows that he has a pretty decent chin, man. Like, the dude went 12 with Parker, Pulev, and Povetkin. You know what I mean? So the kid showed he has chin, but it's getting to the point, man. It's like, yes, you're 24. But dude, I'm telling you, 10 years gonna go by, man. That quick. And we're gonna be saying, damn, he's 34 now. You know what I mean? So we just can't keep banking on, oh, he's young. He's young. Oh, yeah, he's young. Because even I was saying that after all this, the losses that he's getting, well, he's still young. Well, he's still young. My last thing now is, okay, well, he's not getting knocked out and he's not just getting ran through. Like Pulev didn't just run through him, in my opinion. Parker didn't do it either. I had Parker barely winning that fight 6-5-1. That's what I had that fight. All right. Uh I don't know, man, with Huey, man. I mean, yeah, let your hands go more and don't be looking to hold after every single thing. I can see if you get buzzed or clipped, or if you know a guy wants to work on the inside, then you hold him. But there was times where he didn't even need to be touching Povetkin. He should have been touching him with his hands and not with his arms trying to grab him. He should have just outworked him, man. He should have just upped the pace of the fight. Maybe it's easier said than done, but I thought he could have just upped the pace of the fight, just the pace of it. And he was cool with, hey, if you stay out there, I'll stay out here. He seemed as if he was just cool with that. You know what I mean? Or he was cool with, all right, Povetkin, boom, you caught me with a shot. Okay, but just stay out there after then, and I'll just stay out here. And I'll just peck away at the air and I'll probe with my jab. I don't know, man. I don't know. He's going to have to get a little bit more physical, man, and get a little bit more committed to offense and move when you have to. You know what I mean? Because if not, he's just going to be a guy that's going to be just good enough to give these guys rounds. And I don't know, man. You you just can't let a 40-year-old, if you're 24 years old, outwork you. Appreciate that super chat, D Style. All right, man. So I'm gonna get to what you guys are talking about. I blabbed enough for the last 22 minutes. Let me make sure that's everything I want to talk about. Oh yeah, Hunter versus Kuzman is coming up. Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna save that one because I'm gonna get off here soon, man. I'm gonna save talking about Hunter versus Kuzman. That's gonna be a damn good fight because Kuzman is coming to that fight thinking he's gonna be the aggressor with the high guard. I'm gonna walk you down, hit you with the 1-2. I don't know, man. I think he's walking into a underrated puncher in Hunter. He stopped Ustinov, able to stop Maldonado. I know those are, huge names, but at the end of the day, though, Ustinov and Maldonado is not just guys just getting ran through. Shit, Tyrone Spong, or not Tyrone Spong, I'm sorry, Oscar Rivas couldn't knock out Maldonado. You know what I mean? Uh, and we know how tough it is to, even an old Ustinov, we know how tough it is to stop him. You know what I mean? But did he get stopped by Pulev? I think he got stopped by Pulev. Where's that Demetrenko? Did he stop off? I don't know, but Usyk not a guy that's just easy to stop. Just put it that way. But that's gonna be a damn good fight, man. Hunter and Kuzman. All right, let's see what y'all talking about. The perfection was good, man. Let me see here. Corey Lee Boxing says Usyk will be the best heavyweight by 2020. Watch. And he says proven. I'm glad he's up here now, man. Because if you guys know, I've said this a million times, but I've been talking about Usyk moving up to heavyweight since 2015. So to me, this is 4 years in the making. And he did what he said he was going to do. I remember I did a video the summer of 2017, and that video is still up where Usyk said he's going to be at heavyweight in 2 years, I believe it was. I believe that's what he said, 2 or 3 years. So he's pretty much, on track. He went undisputed at cruiserweight. He even doubled back real quick and fought Bellew because Bellew vacated his title, you know what I mean, to go fight David Haye twice. So he even doubled back around the block and fought Bellew just to make sure there was no discrepancies and got him up out of there. And now he went to heavyweight, man. So we're going to see what Usyk got. BC was good. He says that was the first time I saw Schwarz. Oh, you talking about the fight against keep forgetting the guy's name. Mevazinkiv. I know you're talking about, but yeah, that guy. Yeah, that was a pretty good entertaining scrap, man. Neutral Natural was good, bruh. Levi Khan says Schwarz already fought twice since his loss to Fury. Good for him, staying active. But you know what? I thought he just fought once, but I know his last fight was against Radak Varak, and he weighed 260 pounds, man. That was one thing that I forgot to mention about Schwarz, man. And that's his career high. He fought Fury at 245 pounds, and going into the Fury fight, that was his career high. So when I see that with heavyweights, and I just keep seeing you career high, career high, career high. It makes me scratch my head when I start seeing that, man. So maybe this guy's catching him at the right time for a rematch. You know what I mean? But that 260, even though he got the guy out of there quick, just 260 pounds though, man. I don't get how you just letting yourself, continue to get out of shape like that. You know what I mean? Because I'm sorry, prior to the Fury fight, he was a coming in at 235, the high 230s, maybe 240 ish type of fighting range. Where now he went from 245 for the Fury fight to 260 his last fight. You know what I mean? So I guess we'll see. Neutral Natural says I would like to see Usyk beat up Pulev. That'd be a good one. I would favor Usyk in that fight. If that's all he has to worry about is a jab and you coming in a straight line, throwing a jab and trying to land an occasional right hand, and you really have no back foot game, and you're really not an inside attack type of guy, and you fight straight up, and you're not really athletic, you don't really bend at the waist a lot like that, I'll favor Usyk against a guy like that. The perfection was good. He says, seeing that the pool in the heavyweight is a little more deeper than before, someone is bound to crack the top five in the very near future. One of the current ones at the top will be a gatekeeper. That's all. It usually always pans out, man. Mala2243 says Miller Povetkin will be good. Scrapbook Boxing was good, man. He says, what's good, Mr. Boxer today? Good conversation. The one, the one LVZ was good, bro. He says, smash the light from our brother. What's good, man? Neutral Naturals. Hey, the one LVZ. Hey, bro, I've been catching all the vids too, man. Just because I don't comment don't mean I don't be on there. Neutral Natural says Miller will probably fight Scott Alexander. Uh, yeah, Scott Alexander. That's the dude that dropped Kaufman. Well, they dropped each other in that first round of their fight. I think Miller is physical enough to get the W on him. If this is the same Miller, we like look, man. I don't know what I'm gonna see. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm not sure if this is the same Jarrell Miller. We'll see. Um, Because if he starts to fatigue, and a guy like Scott Alexander can kind of weather the early storm and drag that fight into like round 5, 6, I'm sure probably like a 10 rounder. So if he can get to like round 5 or 6, and this ain't necessarily the same Jarrell Miller, and he's not just keep walking you down after taking shot after shot and being high volume. If you cut that volume in half, you dig what I'm saying? He's only half of that. We may see a damn upset. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a favor Miller, obviously, but I want to see what type of Miller we'll see when he's not allegedly having all these damn substances in his body. You know what I mean? Will it be the same Miller? Will he still be high volume? We'll see. And we'll really see once he steps up to like a Dillian White or even if he has to fight like a Charles Martin or a Hunter or somebody like that. You know what I mean? Neutral Natural says he thinks Craig Lewis will pull off the upset, winning by split decision. I'm telling you, man, Lewis is going to give Takam some rounds. I'll be shocked if Takam goes in there and knock him out. I'll be shocked by that one. DJ Zion Love was good. Jay Jerk said was good with Tony, the heavyweight from France. Tony Yoka. Damn, yo, who was Tony Yoka supposed to fight? I meant the damn, man, I forget. Somebody remind me, man. Who was Tony Yoka getting ready to fight? Because I want to talk about that as well. Renee Box Young was good from South Mexico. Was good, champ. Neutral Natural says Martin Bukole's stoppage was weak and early. Neutral Natural says Usyk should fight Romanov next. I think he'll school him, but I would like to see that one. Would rather see that than them throwing him here with a journeyman type guy. If he's not fighting Joshua Ruiz next like he wants to, I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. I would way rather see him in some other fights, but if they gave us that, I wouldn't mind it based on the styles. He's come forward aggressive. I don't know. I see Usyk dominating him though, man. Unbiased heavyweight rankings and news says, yeah, Usyk don't want them Fedosov smoke. Doubt he wants that Romanov smoke. Yeah, I did see him getting talked about with Fedosov, man. Yo, for those, so they need to he needs to get a big fight sooner or later here, man. It's been like the last 2 3 years, man. Haven't really heard nothing from him, man. He had to fight with Jennings a long time ago, back when a lot of the fans, including myself, thought Jennings was the #1 heavyweight in America. I'm not gonna front. I did at that point when he was fighting Fedosov, and Fedosov was getting him some work, man. You know what I mean? He was giving Jennings some work, so he's a come forward guy. I know I seen him fight like Mario Heredia a few years ago in a slugfest. I seen him win the Boxino tournament when he knocked out Nate Heaven, and did he fight Donovan Dennis? But yeah, you know what I mean? He's come forward. He wants to throw his hands. I wouldn't mind seeing him. Fedosov fight somebody, man. Charles Martin, somebody. Let me see here. Neutral Natural says Malik Huey Fury is a white Malik Scott. Um, I think Malik is probably even more technical than Huey Fury, but I get what you're trying to say as far as not being willing to just stand in there and engage and sit down and kind of go to war at times. I know he wants to move and box, but especially at 24 though, man. Like, damn, bro. Like you can't be outworked by 40-year-olds, man. And that's coming from a 40-year-old. You know what I mean? Like you can't let somebody 16 years your senior just outwork you, man. Because I was listening to Andre Ward at the end of that fight. Believe it was Tim Bradley or Andre Ward saying that, hey, they're both, it was like round 11 or something. He's like, they're both tired. They're both, and now Ward is just saying what he sees, but I'm thinking to myself, like, how though? Like, how do you let them outwork you, man? James Dag says, should Huey go down to cruiser? No, I think he'll be worse at cruiserweight. I think he's right where he needs to be, just not getting the job done. You know what I mean? I think he's right where now, because I think he might go down to cruiser and get drained. Now I know his body. I don't think he's made to have some cut up type of body. I believe he's kind of built how he's built, and he is who he is. Even though he's a slender type of guy, he's not real cut up. So I don't see him moving down to cruiser doing any justice for him. I think he's right where he should be. He's just not getting the job done. He possesses all the skills to get it done. He's just not doing it. He's not active enough. Let me see. Spencer Ragland says, I think Spong is going to surprise boxing fans and walk away, win or lose, with new fans and respect. If he comes in here and fights the way I've seen him fight, man, wanting to go to war, you know what I mean, putting the high guard up and just trying to, like I said, go to the body with the left and big overhand rights and fight like that, then yeah, he's definitely going to come to fight. You know what I mean? It's just when he starts to miss, or he starts to get peppered and stepped around, and you know what I mean, it's hard for him to hit his target. Will he still be confident after round 3 or 4 of going through that? You know what I mean? Agzips234 says Tom Schwartz is a total. He says Tom Schwartz is a total Euro bum. Props to you for covering the division in that much depth to actually watch him fight. I appreciate that, man. Uh, Neutral Natural says Miller eating those high edibles. Mark Wonderlink, what's good, bro? Corey Lee Boxing says, Usyk is a different breed, totally different than any fighter at heavyweight, period. If Ruiz wins, Usyk is right there, and that's a bad matchup for Ruiz. Usyk #1 pound for pound. Um, to some degree, I think it's a bad matchup based on what I was able to see, what Parker was able to do with Ruiz, and some people thought Ruiz won that fight, but just the fact that it was a close fight let you know how split down the middle you can be when you watch Ruiz fight somebody in the style of Parker. Parker is a good fluid fighter, can fight off the back foot, knows how to move. He's fluid as a boxer, unlike like the way Anthony Joshua moves when he's going backwards or when he's trying to mix it up and move at the same time. You know what I mean? So I think Usyk has the ability to move around like Parker, if not even better. But who's to say that uh, whatever respect that Ruiz did have for Parker, who's to say that Usyk can garner that same respect with his power uh, versus a guy like Ruiz? You know what I mean? So, but Ruiz wanted to mix it up with Parker, man. There was times where Parker was just wanting to hold. You know what I mean? So, I think it'd be a good style matchup, man. You know, Parker didn't need a long reach, but he has very quick hands. But he was kind of fighting out of a slick style where Usyk is more like he moves around, but he's, bending at the waist and he can turn and twist and pivot and all that. It's not really in a slick manner, like, jab, where your jab hand is by your hip and you're popping it and moving it and, bending at the waist a little bit and moving back and leaning over and keeping your head offline. It's not really in that manner. So, because Usyk sometimes can go high with his guard too, and he'll pop, 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 and then move. Man, I can break down the style for days, man, but I think it'd be a good fight, man. But I can see Usyk using some of what Parker was doing, though. But if he tries to stand and trade or tries to get Ruiz respect, his ass get caught one of them left hooks, man, or one of them devastating body shots. You see what I'm saying? So that'd be a good fight, in my opinion. Neutral Natural says he believes Usyk lost to Breeders. It was a good fight, man. That fight could have went either way. Mala2243 says, you have to wonder what is going to happen to Miller without the drugs. Will he need to get down to 275 or less? He won't be able to carry 300 pounds. That's a good point, man. And we will see. You know what I mean? Because I'm not, like I said, man, we just going to need to see. This going to be a whole different Jarrell Miller. Kind of like with Erkin Tepper, man. When Erkin Tepper got caught with all that stuff, man. And then I seen him come back and fight Christian Hammer. And Christian Hammer's no pushover. I mean, this guy that went the distance with Luis Ortiz and Povetkin and guys like that, but just didn't look like the same Erkin Tepper to me. You know what I mean? Cali Meehan, what's good, man? He says, did you see Willis fight? No, I didn't. I'll check that out. If you can send me a link, I'll check that fight out. I did do a video, one of my last videos. I put his name, I put your son's name in the title, and I said he did have an upcoming fight, but I did not get a chance to check it out. But if you leave me a link, Callie, I'll go ahead and check it out, man. And when I go live again, I'll definitely speak about it. Upcoming prospect, Willis Meehan, heavy-handed, man. Out of Australia. God of War says Schwarz is in the victim protection program. They deleted the Gashi fight and let him fight, and they not cover undercard and check without telling nobody. Oh, they don't have the Sanaa Gashi fight? That was a crazy ass fight, man. I mean, Schwarz did a Academy Award nominated performance in that one, man. He he went down like a sack of potatoes. He was acting in that fight, man, with but there was a lot of fouling going on that fight. And then he came on and started wanting to fight Gashi back. You know what I mean? But that was just a weird ass fight, man. Damn. All right, guys, I got to jump off here, man. I appreciate y'all showing up, doing live productions. What's good? Sorry I can't get to everybody's questions, man, but let me see. Teddy B, Midwest Sports Talk says, if you don't have an uppercut or left hook, it's hard to keep somebody small off you. Why I said Joshua needs to make the uppercut count next fight. That's a good point, Teddy. One thing is Josh is going to know when he's going to have to know when to throw that right uppercut. Because if he's too far out and he try to let that right uppercut go, what's that going to leave him open for? A left hook over the top. You know what I'm saying? And if he wants, and then for him to let that uppercut go, he's gonna have to work behind his jab. You know what I mean? Work behind his jab, kind of feint, and let Ruiz kind of commit to one of his feints. And once he takes a step forward and commit, boom, try to land an uppercut there. But he's gonna throw in some damn feints too, though, man. Some feints that actually that's gonna work for him. You know what I mean? To really make Ruiz commit, man, and make him make him become like a heavy front foot fighter, where he's putting a lot of weight on that front foot, and then try to capitalize right there and counter him. You know what I mean? But hey, man, I appreciate y'all showing up, y'all. Until next time, I'm gone.